Y'all be posting some funny stuff. Boom. Welcome to Fight His MMA. It's me, Miss Nikki. What's good, y'all? How y'all doing? All right. Cool beans. All right. So I had to go back and kind of look and see what the dilly is with this Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 8 card coming up this Saturday, the 19th of October. It's going to be in Tampa, Florida at the fairgrounds, the Tampa Fairgrounds. So we want to talk about the competitors. That's what Miss Nikki want to talk about. Congratulations to everybody that's going to be fighting on this card, each and every one of you, men and women. Congratulations, you guys. I know you guys work real hard to get to these spots and to get the recognition and the notification that, you know, you all fight so hard to have as individuals. Let's just get to the crust of this. Now, the main event is going to be Antonio Bigfoot Silva versus Gabriel Gonzaga. That's the main event. But the real main event is going to be Mr. Jim, the Bare Knuckle Beast Ahlers versus Julian Hellboy Lang, formerly Night Train. So that's going to be the real main event. I know that's what a lot of people are going to be tuning in for because everybody is on this train of Mr. Jim the Beast Ahlers. I can't take nothing away from this young man. You know, I had to go look him up. Yeah. So he came to Bare Knuckle out of retirement. First of all, let me say, out of retirement of MMA, and he holds an MMA record of 14-4-0. So he came to us with a great freaking MMA record. Then he got up there and had 2 great knockouts in succession on both his walks into the square ring. And now he has been labeled. The question has been asked, is he the next best thing in combat sports? That's a big question. There's a lot of people that probably got several different answers for it. Miss Nikki don't have an answer for it. I don't ever know what's going to happen until it happens, like everybody else. But I think, you know, it gives him a good look going into this particular fight. And we already know that he is a beast at what he does. And we know there's got to be some pros and cons going into this fight, just as there is with any other fight. I went back and looked at, because I discovered that he had fought Mr. Hey, Kasim. I know you guys fight on that card that same day. Yes. how about when I get done talking about the bare knuckle card, we get together tonight? Because I don't plan to be up here long talking about bare knuckle. But you know what I'm saying? I had to give them their own little slot because they are who they are. And how about we get together and talk about your upcoming pro debut at FNC? Okay, if that's cool with you and you're still around, let's do it, baby. You know we can do it. And we got a bunch of other fight and on this card will be debuting two more of our Virginia fighters on this bare knuckle card. Brian Maxwell and Rick Caruso. But we're gonna get to them. But back to Mr. Ahlers and Mr. Laney. So with that being said, great MMA record. He has really, you know what I'm saying? I can't take nothing away from that young man because he's had, like I said, I went back and seen that he had fought Mr. Brito at MMA and got a salacious knockout. It was, Jim had to tell the referee that Mr. Brito was out. That's how crazy that fight ended up being. So you think he's going to submit him, and he just starts raining elbows from his back and knocks Mr. Brito out. Then they meet at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and Mr. Brito made a mistake, and Jim capitalized on it, and that was probably one of the more brutal knockouts at Bare Knuckle. Just the way that young man just face planted once, you know, he got hit, that was just something. So with that being said, I think everybody looked at Mr. Ahlers and was like, oh, yee, let's get it. But then we have his opponent, who is going to be Mr. Julian Hellboy Lane. Now, pros and cons. With that being said, I don't know how many of you guys or girls or women or men or babies or chicks, whatever, male, female, chick or child, know that Julian himself at one time was BKB, bare knuckle boxing over there in England. He was their middleweight champion. He came from over here and went over there, or they met somewhere, and him and Mr. I think his name is Sweeney. Yeah, they met, and he was able to get that belt from him. Although, be it the next time they met, which was in the rematch, the young man got his belt back. But he's still in the history books as taking that belt and holding it for that certain amount of time before, you know, him and the young man fought again and the belt went back to him. So I think that because of the two styles, Mr. Ahlers is a very clean, technical fighter, as where Julian is more of a wild style fighter, and he doesn't really pick his shots where Jim does, which I think really makes him very successful, especially at bare knuckle. You have to pick your shots. You can't just. So with that being said, I think the two styles is what make everybody feel like this is going to be, you know, pretty much easy for Mr. Ahlers to win. But at the end of the day, you guys, we got to know that when you guys and girls walk into a ring, octagon, wherever y'all decide you're going to fight at, before that bell rings, each one of you have the same 50% chance of winning that fight. So all I'm saying is I'm not trying to stop nobody's good time or be a Debbie Downer. All I'm saying is I believe the pressure is on Mr. Ahlers because he's had this build up. So now he's got to keep this theme going. You know what I'm saying? Not that he doesn't want to or doesn't, you know, hasn't manifested in his mind that he wants to. But the fact is, there's another man standing across the ring from him come Saturday that has a different idea of how he wants it to end. So with that being said, every fight is a test of wills for you guys and girls. So I'm just saying, you know, never can count nobody out. And y'all know for a fact, these is facts. We didn't see it happen. And that bare knuckle. So, you just never know what's going to happen until it happens. I'm not making no picks for anybody, not even my fighters that's coming from Virginia. I'm not making no picks on this card. And as a matter of fact, like I said, it ended up being that Mr. Ahlers and Mr. Lang's fight is the heartbeat of this card. So the pressure is really on Mr. Ahlers, which makes Julian just a little bit more dangerous because he already, in the eyes of the public, he doesn't have anything to lose, and everybody's fighting for their legacy. This is part of the legacy for you guys and girls. So with that being said, when you have another person that you're facing, sometimes your plan works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't think that Julian can come into this fight as he has done several other fights with his hands down. I need him to be defensive. I need him to pick shots. And I'm saying that because I already know that Jim's doing that. He's on his game. He got it. And, we're going to have to wait and see. But like I said, don't freaking be, I know it looks like he's not going to have a chance at winning this fight, but you just never know. Everybody has the same 50% coming into a fight. So we'll see at the end whose hand gets raised. But good luck to both young men. Congratulations on you guys having so much steam going into this fight and everybody looking for it and waiting to enjoy it. So I just need you guys to go in there and enjoy it yourselves, and may the best man win. Yeah, so we know that our guy that's in the main event, Mr. Silva, is coming to us off of a very long layoff in his fight career, and Mr. Silva is probably the more warmed up fighter. He's had some recent stuff that he was doing. I believe he competed somewhere in July of this year. So he's the more warmed up fighter. We're going to see what happens with that. Like I said, I appreciate these two gentlemen coming and being a part of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship because we get to see another great fight between two great fighters, both heavyweight, and have made their appearances at UFC, Bellator, all they made their rounds, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, the exciting part of this main event is that it's two heavyweights. So, and then you got Bigfoot Silva, who's probably like 20 feet tall. He may seem like that, but he's not actually 20 feet tall, y'all. He's probably up there like 6'7" or something like that. I'm not really sure how tall Mr. Gonzaga is, but this is going to be one of those rock'em sock'em slobber knockers. And this one may end sooner than we think. It may be a quick knockout with that one, too. With them heavyweights, you just never know. So, yeah, it's been a while since we've seen, I believe. I don't know. I can't call that one. I'm going to let that slide right now. Then we're going to go on to the next fight that's listed on the card. Now, everything that I'm talking about, you guys, the competitors on this card, is everything that I got from what was posted onto Facebook about the card. So this is like the legit card that came off of Bare Knuckles card. Somebody sent it to me, and here we are. So if there has been changes made or additions added, then I may not have that information in this moment. But if something does change and I'm notified of it or catch it, then I will definitely, bring that to everybody's attention. Okay, Martina Crow versus Callie Cutler. Yeah, we got a girl fight at 125. So we got Miss Martina the Bully. That's her fight name. I for whatever reason. Oh, both are debuting. Yes, I couldn't find any information on either lady at Tapology or Box Rec. So it looks like both of these ladies are going to be debuting. I don't really know how much history they have in their combat sports career, but maybe we'll find something out more than what I've been able to pull up on the ladies, at this point. But that's going to be so these two are going to be making their way. This is part of that tournament, that featherweight tournament at 125 for those belts, which Helen Peralta is currently holding in the women's division. That bare knuckle fighting championship belt and the Police Gazette belt. So there you have that. Those two are in that tournament to get to that place to fight her. Then we're going to go on down to the 135. Y'all know my dude, Reggie Barnett Jr. Yeah, he's on his road to redemption. He will be cage side. He will be ringside, squared ringside for this card. He'll be an observer only. He'll only be observing because there's going to be how many 135 fights on this card? 1, 2, 3. 3 that we know of. So with that being said, he'll be ringside to see who does what. And yeah, the more I go down the card, the more it's gonna get. So Abdel, who is, I believe he's 1-1-0 at he's 2-1-0 at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. He doesn't really have that much of I couldn't really find much of him through MMA or boxing. So he's been one of those that just came on the scene, and ever since then, he's just been gradually growing as, a fighter, whether it be bare knuckle or not. So he will be facing off against one of Virginia's own, Slick Rick Caruso. I will be resharing all the interviews that I did get with some of my fighters for this upcoming card. Rick Caruso was one of them. He is brand new to bare knuckle. This is his debut at bare knuckle. He will be fighting at 135 against Abdel, whose opponent apparently has some issues and had to pull out or whatever. So they were able to fill the spot with Rick Caruso, which is a great thing for Rick and a great thing for Abdel, because then that way Abdel does get the fight and he keep his momentum going. Like I said, Abdel, the Nightmare Velasquez, is 2-1-0 at bare knuckle. Rick is making his debut. Yeah. So I see that being a good fight. I've been saying that Abdel is my most improved fighter since bare knuckle 1. I think that he's become a little more patient, that he's become a little bit more crisper with his striking and working good in the clinch. I think he's just overall improved since bare knuckle 1. And I'm telling you, this dude that is the king at the 135 division at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, everybody, his name is on everybody's list. He done had to dust off some of the best that we got at 135 at Bare Knuckle, including my dude, Reggie, to get those belts. So trust and know, everybody that he went through to get to those belts, including my dude, everybody want to see him again. Everybody want to see him again. Abdel was one. Rusty Crowder was one. Reggie, I'm saying, like, yeah, Johnny Bedford is the man to beat at 135. And all these 135ers are trying to get to that spot. But I think that we got to see the rematch between Reggie and Johnny. Because every single fight that both of those gentlemen had, I'm not going to say anybody has an easy fight when they come to fight, but at this point, like every single fight Reggie had from day one was tough. Travis Thompson was a tough fight. Clay Burns, twice as tough as Travis. And then Rusty 3 times. You know what I'm saying? It just went up as he went and got higher in, in the bracket. It just got harder. And then you meet who the best of the best is. It was him and Johnny. And Johnny got the best of the fight and got him a couple of knockdowns, made it look good, and got those belts. And now he's sitting at home with the goal over his shoulder, watching the rest of y'all fight like some crabs in a barrel to get to him. And we just gonna see which one of y'all is gonna get there. That's the exciting part for me, is watching y'all try to get there. And then when y'all get there, that's the best part. And seeing y'all being able to compete at the level of which you guys have been fighting so hard for, and the girls too. So yeah, those two will be dusting it up. I don't know. Oh, that's what that is. I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. Had to plug in my computer. Rick believes that the 135 division is his home, even though he's debuting. He's been waiting in the rafts for a long while since they started, and he went to one of the tryouts, and he was a name that was put on the list to be called back. So when the opportunity arose, they called him, and he is Asian. So congratulations to so again, congratulations to Abdel for returning again. This is a fight I look forward to seeing, and I'll probably do like a fight companion here at home and just be live while the fights are happening and giving my little take on it as they're happening. It'll be exciting. Yeah. So there you have it. Stick with Caruso versus Abdel Velasquez, who is 2-1-0, and Rick is debuting at bare knuckle. So good luck to both young men. Then you have Joey Angelo, who has an MMA record of 6-1-0. I think the last time he fought was September of 2017. It looks like that's what I have here, September 30th of 2017. So he's been on a little bit of a layoff against Mr. Walbor Barreros, who has a 0-0-1. So his first fight at bare knuckle was I'm trying to think who he was fighting. It might have been Joe Riggs. Was it Joe Riggs? He had a unanimous draw decision on his first bare knuckle, but he did great. He stayed in there, and that's a testament to his toughness. That was his debut, and he didn't get knocked out. He didn't get TK'd. He didn't get. I don't think that him or his opponent knocked each other down, and if they did, they must have each got a knockdown. I can't remember right in my mind, but I don't think either one of them got knocked down in that fight. But that ended up being a draw for him. So these two are going to meet Saturday, and I think they're probably going to meet somewhere around 165, 170, something like that, maybe. That's the one thing they didn't put up was what weight class these guys and girls were going to fight at, and sometimes you can't just automatically assume they're going to fight at a weight because of what they fought, what weight class they fought in MMA or in boxing. This is bare knuckle. So, and a lot of you guys and girls will jump up and down in weight in order to meet the requirements to fight. So, that's just a part of the game. Then on to the next one. I don't have no real talk about Mr. Angelo and Mr. Barrios fight. All I know is that if Mr. Angelo is as game as Mr. Barrios is, then we'll have a great fight. We'll have a great fight. Then we move on back to this 135 division I've been telling y'all about. You got Mr. Dat Win, Dat be Dat Win, fighting against Matt X Murphy. I know he has another fight name, but I can't think of it right now. But Matt Murphy is a returner. His BKFC record is 0-1-0. So he's got one loss, and that is to again the king of that 135 division, Mr. Johnny Beffler. So, you know, he's got an L on his bare knuckle record, but it's from one of the best of the best. As you know, as the books will tell it, the best 135er at bare knuckle at this point. So that win and Matt Murphy will be going at it at that 135. So with that being said, you have Mr. Win, who comes to us from a boxing background with a 20 win ratio, a 3 loss ratio, and a 0 ratio of decisions. I mean of what do you call it? Draws. So his record is 20, as in 2-0, 3 as in 0-3, and 0. 23-0 at boxing. And Matt's record is completely the opposite. 3-40-4. So everybody always says, I'm not fighting a record. I'm fighting that person. Yes, but the record speaks volumes a lot of times. And it might not say what everybody wants it to say or even that fighter wants it to say, but sometimes it speaks volumes. So for me, looking at this, Matt has double the experience in the ring, but that has more wins. So with that being said, I think we're going to have, I don't think that Matt's going to back down at all. He's another one that I did interview for this upcoming card. I will be resharing that interview. Matt's not backing down. He feel like he want to meet Johnny again. So yeah, that means he has to go through that and some other guys to get there. So with that being said, this is going to be a great fight because I think that is kind of showboatery type fighter. And not that he's not a great fighter, because he didn't kill some dreams along on his path to greatness. He didn't kill some dreams, but you know what I'm saying. I think he's going to have a lot of fun in this fight. I think Matt will probably be the more serious of the two fighters on the walkout and just getting that zoom in when they get ready to fight. You know, I think Matt is probably going to be the more serious fighter, and he is not backing down. He has plans. He needs to redeem himself from that loss with Johnny during the tournament. And he wants to stay fighting bare knuckle. So he took a little time off. He's back now, and we get to see what he brings with him this time, because he brought it tougher. I mean, man, I think I was one of the people that was shocked when we found. I thought that he might have got the edge on Johnny. I really did. So it wasn't like that was like this. Johnny just went in there and beat up Matt or something. No, them two really went at it, and they just. I don't know where they seen Johnny edged it out, but apparently they did. And he never got a knockdown on Matt or anything like that. Them two really slugged it out for them 5 rounds. So yeah, with that being said, that is debuting at bare knuckle, and Matt is a returning fighter. And you know, he has that one fight more experience at bare knuckle, which I'm pretty sure, even though that does not, you know, hasn't done it professionally, I'm pretty sure he has something in his training and get along that kind of equalizes that out. So we're going to have to see who will be victorious. Congratulations to both of those young men, and good luck to both men. Now, again, in the 135 division, we have Jarrett Warren versus Brian Maxwell. Brian Maxwell is another one of my Virginia fighters, and he has been waiting in the rafters. He was able to come and corner his friend, Bruce Ambransky, who was on card number 2, I believe, and he fought against Kendall Grove, and Brian was in his corner for that fight. So Brian's been waiting in the rafters too for a while to get his call to come to bare knuckle. So with that being said, he got the call, and he will be fighting Mr. Jarrett Warren, who holds an MMA record of 1-2-0, and Brian Maxwell's record at MMA is what, 2-3-0. So they're kind of even Steven, you know what I'm saying? And um Brian Maxwell believes that Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is his home also, and he plans on sticking around. But if he plans on sticking around, he has to go in here and handle his business against Mr. Warren. I did not look up much fight footage for these competitors because at the end of the day, most of y'all's footage is MMA, and y'all don't usually, for me, don't look the same at bare knuckle as you would at MMA. So I try to square it off a little bit and just picture that for y'all. So good luck to both young men in this fight. I don't know what Mr. Warren is bringing to the table. Like I said, we're going to have to wait and see. Everybody has a plan until you get punched, as Mike Tyson say. And when you get touched with a bare knuckle, it's way different than the feeling that you get when you have the boxing gloves and the MMA gloves. And every single fighter that I know have ever spoken to about this says that to me. They say it to me. I never asked them. They just say it to me. They tell me what the really real is, what the difference is, and how it makes them feel, whether they're receiving it or giving it. So, just because you're giving it doesn't mean that you don't have some pain along with it either. So, with that being said, you got to give, you got to take a little to give a little. So, good luck to those two young men. Then we have, I'm not really sure I think this might be a heavyweight fight. Dave Mundell versus Ronnie Forey. So, BoxRec has Dave at 0-0-1. He's debuting at bare knuckle. Ronnie Forney has an MMA record of 3-1-0. Two newbies popping up on the radar. We don't know what's going to happen with these two. They're both debuting. They don't have much of, so a lot of fight history to talk about. So with that being said, we really get to see what they're made of in this first bare knuckle fight between the two of them. Good luck to both young men in this fight. Then we have Reggie Pena versus Lorenzo Hunt. I don't know what's going on with them two. And no disrespect to anybody or any of my podcasters, but there's a lot of time, like I can't listen to, like, I can't, because then it kind of kills my energy for maybe the line of maybe how I want to question or the things that I'm thinking about talking to the fighters about. So very few times do I listen. And it's not for lack of respect or anything, but I need to have my own clarity about things and be able to think and knock on my own brain about things. So yeah, Mr. Lorenzo Hunt and Mr. Pena. Reggie Pena has a BoxRec fight record of 6-10-0. I hate to say this, y'all. I really hate to say this, but this is what I really can't. This is what it really said, that his last 8 fights he has lost, Mr. Pena. That's tough. That's tough on anybody. You know what I'm saying? People don't even like to lose 8 checker games in a row, so let alone losing 8 fights. against Lorenzo Hunt, who comes to us with a record of 110-0. It looks like. Yep, 110-0, and an MMA record of 3-5-0. So Mr. Hunt done spread itself out a little bit. He done fought a little MMA and got him some boxing in. So striking is part of his forte. So this ought to be a nice good fight for us. Two tough guys, Reggie Pena and Lorenzo Hunt. That's what I'm saying. Even though some people's fight records are lopsided, it doesn't mean that we're not going to get a great fight. It does not mean that either man, woman will not give a good fight. And if anybody signs up or signs a contract for bare knuckle fighting championship or any bare knuckle promotion, they are saying, I am willing. I am putting in. I'm ready to give a good showing, the best showing that I can give. And that's the part that I appreciate the most from you guys and girls. So I don't know what the smoke is with them two. Maybe after the fight, I'll get to talk to Mr. Hunt and Mr. Pena and or either. And I'll find out what that smoke was really. And I probably would know a little bit more if I had been watching other podcasts. But like I said, I would rather have. I need a freshness when I sit down to watch these fights, and I don't want to have other people's opinions of the fighters. I want to have my own opinions. And so many times I tell you guys I'd rather talk to you than about you. I get to ask you questions and find out what's really good with certain things, you know what I'm saying, and where your mind is and all of that. But everybody, this is fight week for everybody. So I know we're not going to get no interviews. Everybody was trying to get up. We were trying to make stuff happen last week, but people were busy. It's very close to the fight, and I understand that. And they are focused. They just focused, period. They got to be focused. They about to fight. So I understand, and I am not mad at nobody. I'll be right here waiting for you guys and girls when you get done. So I don't know what the smoke is with Mr. Pena and Mr. Hunt, but we're going to find out on Saturday. We're going to find out. Okay, next up on the card is my girl, woo woo, Sheena Puma Star. She's getting that 115 division together there, bare knuckle. She's going to be going to get Miss little Scrappy Owen. Yes. BoxRec says Miss Delaney has a 3-0 BoxRec record, and her MMA record at Topology is 3-2-0. So, and she calls herself a little scrappy, which means that she got some scrap in her, y'all. She breaking the scrap. But we all know our girl, she the Puma Star. She's tough enough. Yes, she is. She's the first one that got the first one at the 115 division. She's the one that rallied for this division, for the smaller girls to have a division to fight a bare knuckle fighting championship. And since bare knuckle have opened up the doors, it looked like they haven't had a shortage of smaller females that want to come fight at bare knuckle. So congratulations to all the girls that are entering in through this 115-pound division. Congratulations to Sheena Puma Star for being able to rally for this to happen at bare knuckle. It took a little time and we can't rush, and I'm glad it wasn't rushed, because then we get better fights and we get a better stable of fighterettes. So thank you for that, Sheena, and thank you, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, for giving that to us. We appreciate that. Yes, the girls like to get it in too. So this fight ought to be good, because our girl Sheena has an MMA record of 11. Nope. I'm great to lie. 1-0-0 at BKFC. She got her first win there when she debuted. Congratulations to her. For whatever reason, I don't know why. 4-0 is Sheena Puma Star's record at MMA. But Sheena has a lot. She wears a lot of hats. She's not only a matchmaker for some other promotions, but she's a manager, and she's a cut woman at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship and the other organizations that she happens to work with. And she is a fighter. So she wears a lot of hats, and she sees a lot of things. She hears a lot of things, but at the end of the day, she has that fighter spirit, and she's about to put her warrior suit on, and she's about to go back in there and dust it up again against Miss Delaney, little Scrappy Owens. We're going to see where both women stand. May the best woman win. Good luck to both young ladies, and thank you again for signing those contracts. Can't do it unless you sign the contract. So thank you, ladies. We appreciate you. Be looking forward to seeing you get it in. Now we're gonna move on down to Zach Jusola versus Fred Pierce. Now, Zach has a MMA record of 11-6-0. He's debuting at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Congratulations, young man, and welcome to the pit of hell. That square ring does collect teeth, blood, sweat, and tears. Be prepared to leave some of yours in there. And Fred Pierce comes to us with a boxing record of 0-1-0 and an MMA record of 1-6-0. So welcome again, young man, Mr. Pierce, to the to the pit of hell. The square ring does collect teeth, sweat, blood, and tears. Be prepared to leave some of yours there. And the square ring takes no prisoners, only blood, sweat, tears, and teeth, and occasional eyeballs. So yeah. Welcome, gentlemen. It looks like both of them have a bigger background in MMA, so this is going to be interesting to see both of them come in and not be able to use anything but their striking. That's always the funnest part for my MMA fighters. I like to watch is them having to transition from being able to use all the other weapons that they have to down to just that one weapon, which is striking. And you can't elbow nobody, none of that. You know what I'm saying? No takedowns, no kicks, none of that. Just straight stand up striking. Let's get it. Let's get it. And like I said, so many of y'all, I think for a lot of people, y'all think because y'all can do certain things for 10 minutes straight or run a certain amount of distance in a certain amount of time, that makes you capable of being able to do this. But once you are in that square ring, once that bell rings, and for the returners and the veterans at Bare Knuckle, they know that off the cuff, that bell, as soon as they're trained to it now, as soon as that bell ring, they know off the cuff to start swinging. So for my newbies, I hope that that's something that you guys incorporated into your training going into this. And I know some of y'all have had short notice, like Rick Caruso, he's coming in short notice, but really mentally he's not short notice because he already know what it takes. He's been one of the ones that's been sitting in the rafters waiting. So I'm hoping that these little minuscule things or things that you guys are incorporating into your training off that bell, towing the line. You're really towing the line, and off that bell, boom, the fight is there. And how many of y'all have got up here and said to me, because I've asked y'all, how many of y'all have said it has taken all the way until you got hit that first time once you was in that square ring to realize, boom, damn, you in this fight. So don't wait to get there on that line to realize that, boom, you in this fight. Be in this fight when you walk in that ring. That's what I need from you guys and girls. Just be in the fight when you walk in the ring. I know sometimes just energy doesn't allow that to happen, but at the end of the day, that's something you all need to incorporate into your training regimen. If you're going to fight bare knuckle, is being ready to go, boom, off of that daggone bell. Every freaking round, not just round one, not just round two, but if it goes past round 2, round 3, round 4, and round 5, be ready to go off that bell, because that could make or break you winning or losing your fight. A lot of times, when your opponent gets that first punch is when y'all get that first cut. And boom, what does it do? Starts swelling up. The next thing you know, the doctors is looking and the cut man is looking, and then we shaking because we don't know whether you're injured to the point where, you know what I'm saying, they got to stop the fight or whether they're going to let the fight go on. You see what I'm saying? That first off the bell is usually when stuff really happens. So be prepared for that, guys and girls, going into your debuting bare knuckle fighting championship debuts. Yes. So him, and Mr. Paris are going to dust it up. I'm thinking that's probably going to be like somewhere in the high numbers, 190, maybe even 200 or something like that, as the pound allowance for these two gentlemen. Then we got Gustavo Trujillo versus Robert Morrow. Now, BoxRec told me that Gustavo is a 0-0-0. So he has not had a boxing match, and he is debuting at bare knuckle. And I don't think I found anything. Yep, no MMA record for Mr. Trujillo either. But Mr. Morrow, this is the one fight I think on the card that really made me say, huh? So Mr. Morrow, the Destroyer, Robert the Destroyer Morrow, is coming in with a box record of 0-0-0. So that means that he probably has not ever boxed. But he has a MMA record of 25, 22, and 1. That's what made me say, oh. So both of them are debuting at bare knuckle, but it looks like Mr. Morrow has an extensive fight career at MMA. And it looks like Mr. Trujillo just has a lot of heart because he coming from nowhere. See, popping up out of nowhere. You never know what's going to happen. What does he really have to lose? Either man. So that's what makes the fights great, especially when y'all coming in and a win is the biggest thing for you to have, but having nothing to lose is also a great thing too. So I don't think that nobody has nothing to lose. And when I say that, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just mean that in a manner of like, sign the contract, you're here to fight, and win, lose, or draw, your name is in the history books at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So that's a great thing. And, I can't never be mad at y'all trying to be great. I love y'all for that. So there y'all have it. The BKFC8 card coming up this Saturday. Like I said, it's going to be some power in the house. Reggie will be there observing because there's so many fights at 135 and everybody's trying to get to Johnny. Everybody want a piece of Johnny. Ain't nobody really, y'all talk about it when we talking together, but y'all ain't really calling him out, let him know. You know what I'm saying? Don't get comfortable with the belt. Y'all just slide it in a little bit. Oh my God. Oh, Lord Jesus. And also, I don't know if you guys seen it, but I did post. I've been Combat Insider's been doing a lot of stat stuff lately with bare knuckle, and I've been sharing that with you guys. So go up there and check out some of the stats they got, like fastest knockouts. They got the 7 best clinch fighters. And I think there was one more that they did this week, in the last week. So go check out Combat Insiders. Those is my guys right there. I love them, Nick and Josh. They awesome. I met them guys and they are awesome. And they invited me to come on their show. And hopefully maybe after this bare knuckle, because I'm pretty sure they'll be there, but Miss Nikki and Fahid and May won't be there. But I'm pretty sure after this, we'll have a lot to talk about with all these newbies coming onto the card and some returners and the big names that headline the card, and definitely whatever the outcome of the Ahlers and Laney fight is going to be. So everybody is looking forward to coming up to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 8 down there in Tampa, Florida at the Florida Fairgrounds. They are all looking to have a great showing, which means we're going to have great fights. So you guys need to tune in, go to Fight TV, FITE, go there, get that app. You can go ahead and purchase the fight through there, and you'll also be able to go if you get that fight app. If you add that to your phone or your computer, you'll also be able to go up there and look at some of the free fights that Bare Knuckle have done since they've started, and some of the ones that they've turned into free fights. So go up there and check out. So some of these people are some of the on some of these free cards. So go up there and check out maybe some of their first appearances or second appearances at Bare Knuckle and see what you think. Make your own judgment and think about who they might be getting ready to fight and what you think the odds are of them, coming out victorious or whatever have you. You can also go to bareknuckletv.com and purchase the fight there. Usually what they do, what Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship does, is they usually will have they'll have like 2 prelim fights. Sometime, I think maybe one time we might have had 3, but I know we always have 2 prelim fights that they'll show for free on Bare Knuckle TV, bareknuckletv.com or Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships Facebook page. And then after those 2 prelims fights, they go black and then they go to the pay-per-view. So with that being said, if you can see a free fight, go see a free fight. Yes, enjoy yourself. And just check it out. You can go to Fight TV. That fight app has all of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship cards up there. So you can even, and once you purchase the fights on the fight app, you can watch them as much as you want, as many times as you want, wherever. If you in the middle of the day, you start watching the fight and something happens and you got to turn it off, you just pause it. When you come back, it's still in the same place that you left it paused at, and you can continue watching your fights. Man, oh day, I think that's awesome for a fight app to have. Yeah, that's great. I think that's a good pairing for fight and Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship to be paired up together and doing business together. I think it's great, and I hope that they continue to work together greatly and bring us great fights in the future. And we'll see what's happening, Captain, on Saturday. It's going down this Saturday, y'all. Not only is Bare Knuckle, but you got Fight Night Challenge. There are several other cards. My fighter's been after me all week. It's been hard to get up with everybody, but I'm trying. I'm only one person, you guys. So with that being said, hopefully I'll be able to get up with everybody after the fights and have some great post-fight interviews and get some laughs, get some tears, and see what's in the future for everybody that fought that's going to fight this coming Saturday. So love, peace, and hair grease, y'all. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. About to toe the line, baby. I don't think y'all seen my shirt, did y'all? Yes, y'all. That's the original. That's the original Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship shirt, y'all. Stop playing. Miss Nikki was there in the house. No shirt. So there y'all have it. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Good luck to everybody this weekend that's fighting, whether you're going to be at Bare Knuckle or whatever organization you're going to be or promotion you're going to be fighting on. Good luck to everybody. Like I said, I hope you all are already ready so you don't have to spend this week getting ready. Good luck. I hope weight cuts are going well for everybody, and see y'all Saturday.